Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of Principles of Economics. One of your esteemed colleagues, Bella, not entirely her real name, has sent me an email asking, asking what? Asking what are the topics that she should look at when seeking to answer the questions in the short answer assignment, which is due on the 13th of January. So not long away. Get started on it. Alright, so what's the answer to this question? In the short answer assignment, the first question is about housing bubbles, a particularly relevant topic. And so what section of the textbook or what chapter or what topic should you be looking at for that? Well, since we're talking about the housing market, we're not really talking about the apartment block market in Sydney, for example. That's a market that's dominated by, relatively speaking, only a few sellers or developers. But when we're talking about the housing market, so for just everyday normal houses, then we're talking about a deep and wide market. That is to say, there are very, very many buyers and sellers in the marketplace, all of whom are reasonably well informed. So in this case, the most appropriate model to utilize in trying to analyze what's going on here is probably the demand-supply model. Not probably, you should use the demand-supply model, which you can find in the videos that I've made and chapter 2 of your textbook, which goes through that. What else do we need to say about that? Yes, and not to give too much away here, but the key to understanding a price bubble is speculative decision making, speculative buyer and seller expectations. So you should look at you should look at chapter 3, section 3.5 of your textbook. Let me just check that. Yes, section 3.5 of your textbook, because it has a section on precisely this. If you're reading your textbook, you'd probably know that. All right. So, as for that's kind of the background that you need to answer the question. The question itself is really asking about government policies that could be implemented in order to stop a house price bubble in Sydney, or how to slow one down at least. So for that, you can use those 2 chapters, and also you can use your own brain in thinking about it. But the question gives you some choices, some policies that you should contemplate. And you should really, in your answer to that question, you should address those policy options that I've provided to you. The next question is about an article written by Professor Rajajananka entitled "Youth Unemployment Can't Be Blamed on Wages." What should you look at for this? Well, for this, you can really just read the article. It's very clear. So you should be able to just read through that and answer the questions about it. It's relatively straightforward. However, if you do want some background on it, because it's about unemployment, you should go to those sections of your textbook. This is in the macroeconomics side of the textbook. Go to those sections in your textbook that deal with unemployment. So that's, I think it's section 10.4 and 10.5 of chapter 10. Question 4 is about the calculation of GDP using the expenditure method, and is also about the multiplier effect. There's calculation questions here. For that, this is again macroeconomics. You can find out about the expenditure method for calculating GDP by looking just at the table of contents of the textbook. It'll give it away. Or by, again, looking in the index. That will reveal to you that you should probably head towards, I don't know, page 226 maybe. And also you should look at section 10.3 of chapter 10 of the textbook. And that will give you information about the multiplier, the simple multiplier, and the multiplier effect associated with that. That's it for all the advice that I've got to give. If you have any other questions about any of the other assessment tasks, or any of the concepts that are not entirely clear to you, or you've got some other question you just want me to answer about life, the universe and everything, then I'd be more than happy to consider it.